we're going to look at these last three terms here all together, the last three terms on this diagram. But we have management information systems, we have decision support systems, we have executive information systems. And all three of these systems help, people in their respective roles run an organization. So, as we move up this hierarchy, the people up here at the top, they don't necessarily, I had a boss say to me one time, Todd, don't build me a clock, just tell me the time. Which I thought was kind of funny, even though I think it's also kind of snotty. But it really kind of summarizes what the CEO needs to know, right? The CEO doesn't need to know all the intricate details, right? Like you don't have to tell them how the clock works. All the CEO needs is a summary. They just need to know the time. Don't build me a clock, just tell me the time. And so up here at the top level, the executive information system is going to provide a dashboard kind of overview of how everything is running within an organization and provide summary information to the top level executive or executives so they could see on a daily basis, how are things running, what's going on, is there anything I need to drill down into? So that's a phrase you hear sometimes, drill down. So if he does see something that looks kind of funny, he could then, or she could then, dig into what is behind, this one figure here and see all the detail beneath a certain figure. And so that's kind of how an executive information system would work. A management information system is going to provide more middle-level management with more operational kind of details of like how's the organization running. So if you picture sort of like some chain like Walmart or Target, right? The manager in each of these stores, right? In each store, the manager would get a report or a series of reports each day or see it on the screen. Hey, this is what happened in the store yesterday. This many people worked. We had this much money spent on salaries. We had this many returns. We had this many sales. Here's the different categories of the sales. And here's an exception report. So an exception report would be like something out of the ordinary. Those would stand out. So if a certain item starts selling like hotcakes, that would be brought to the manager's attention. So each of the individual stores, right, would have an interface panel or whatever where the managers would be able to see kind of how things are going in that one location and help them manage that one location. Whereas up here, right, the CEO is going to see what's going on in all of the locations in all of the states and see it by state and see it by, and they could drill down and see it by region, by store, or whatever if they needed to. So that's again here, this is helping run the organization management information system on a more day-to-day basis. This is helping set the strategy on a little bit of a longer term basis, right? So, definitely the executives could adjust things as they're happening right now, but also kind of helps them see what's going on long term. And then decision support software is kind of just in between the two of these. And it's really for making more unstructured decisions where there isn't really a clear right thing to do versus wrong thing. But there's a variety of possible solutions, and any one of them could or could not be correct. And so DSS software helps with unstructured decision making, right? Where you're getting information and data from within the organization. You're also getting information and data from outside the organization. So, for example, if we had a grocery store, we might be feeding into our DSS software all of the commodity prices on the futures market, which is basically like if you're a farmer, you could buy futures to help insure your crop, right? So, okay, my crop's looking good. It's basically a way for farmers to buy insurance. And so it's also an indication of supply and demand for commodities. I know this makes no sense, probably to most people. But if we're a grocery store, we might have commodities futures being fed into our DSS software to kind of allow us to see what's going on with some of the commodities we're selling, and if we need to start thinking about what's the supply going to be like, and how do we mitigate and manage that in relationship to our demand. I think I just made myself sound really smart, a lot smarter than maybe I actually am. But I actually do have a little bit of knowledge in that arena. All right, so that's TPS, MIS. That's MIS, DSS, and EIS. None of these things here will you really use unless you get into a sort of corporate situation You know, unless you know you're working at a grocery store or some Walmart or Target, then you might start to see if you get into management this kind of stuff, and then if you get into upper management, these types of things here. But if you're just doing mom and pop shop stuff, you'll never touch this. Whereas like with CRM and TPS, you would be interested in learning about CRM and TPS stuff. All right, so that's MIS, DSS, and EIS.